If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to correct someone by pointing out all their faults, only to find that instead of changing their behavior, they became defensive, upset, or distant? Why does that happen? Because, as human beings, we don't like criticism. It wounds our pride, challenges our ego, and often arouses resentment rather than reflection. Think about it. Criticism is like trying to harvest honey by kicking over the beehive. Not only do you fail to get the honey, but you also risk getting stung by angry bees. In the same way, when we criticize, we might feel justified in the moment, but we rarely achieve the change we're seeking. One of the greatest lessons in human relations comes from this simple idea. If you want cooperation, start with understanding and kindness. Or as Abraham Lincoln said, a drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. Let me share a story to bring this to life. During the Civil War, Lincoln faced generals who repeatedly failed to act when they had golden opportunities. General Meade, for instance, let the Confederate Army escape after the Battle of Gettysburg, squandering a chance to end the war. Lincoln, furious, drafted a scathing letter detailing Meade's failures. But Lincoln never sent the letter. Why? Because he knew that criticism would only provoke defensiveness and impair their relationship, making it harder to lead effectively in the future. Instead of blaming, Lincoln practiced empathy. He thought, if I were in Meade's position, having seen the horrors of war firsthand, perhaps I would have hesitated too. This understanding made him a more compassionate and effective leader. Now, this principle doesn't mean you should ignore mistakes or avoid addressing problems. Instead, approach them tactfully. Begin with empathy and acknowledgement of the other person's perspective. For instance, instead of saying, "You're doing this wrong," try asking, "Can you help me understand your thought process here?" Even animals respond better to encouragement than criticism. Psychologist B.F. Skinner proved that rewarding good behavior leads to faster learning and better retention than punishing bad behavior. And guess what? The same applies to people. Let me tell you about Bob Hoover, a famous test pilot. During a flight, his plane's engines failed due to a mechanic fueling it with the wrong type of fuel. Hoover narrowly avoided disaster. Was he angry? Of course. But instead of lashing out, he approached the young mechanic and said, "To show you I trust that you'll never make this mistake again, I want you to service my plane tomorrow." Imagine how much loyalty and respect that act of kindness earned. Friends, this principle is simple but transformative. If you want people to listen, to cooperate, and to grow, start with a kind word instead of criticism. Be the person who inspires change by building bridges, not burning them. So next time you're tempted to lash out or point fingers, remember, the honey you seek is harvested with gentleness, not force. Lead with kindness, and you'll find that people not only respond, but also thrive in the warmth of your understanding. Thank you.